Welcome to the podcast, folks. Today we're diving into an intense claim that in any war with Iran, America could be defeated.
That's a bold statement. So we're talking about Col Lawrence Wilkerson's analysis here, right?
Exactly. It's all about his take that the US might face a very tough battle with Iran.
Right.
His perspective examines military strategy and the balance of power in a very provocative way.
Yeah, and the video even has a live component with Jamal Thomas hosting it, which adds a timely element to the discussion.
True, and what's interesting is how Wilkerson lays out the idea that America's military might, in a conventional sense, might not be as invincible as many assume, especially when facing a foe employing asymmetrical strategies.
I mean, it's kind of like saying the underdog could use clever tactics and surprise factors to turn the tide.
Yeah, exactly. It's like taking a conventional playbook and flipping it on its head. They talk about Iran's ability to leverage, missile technology and unconventional warfare, turning what are often seen as weaknesses into strategic advantages.
Right, it's that classic David versus Goliath scenario, isn't it? But do you think his analysis covers all angles?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. His focus is on certain military vulnerabilities and how, in a prolonged conflict, those vulnerabilities could be exploited.
Already intriguing.
But he doesn't shy away from the political implications either.
Yeah, it's not just about the battlefield tactics, it's also about the geopolitical power play. How do you see that playing out?
It's like he's arguing that, in a war scenario, America could find itself overstretched with domestic pressures and a network of alliances that could complicate rapid military decision-making, turning internal dissent into a liability on the global stage.
So, in essence, he's warning that even the most powerful military system has critical weaknesses under certain circumstances.
Right. And he couches it in a discussion of strategy rather than just raw firepower. It's a bit like saying, yeah, the US has all the tanks and jets, but what if the fight isn't won on a conventional front?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's where his analysis on alternative warfare comes in. How Iran might use unconventional methods to offset the overwhelming technological edge.
Absolutely. His point suggests that Iran's mix of missile capabilities, proxy networks, and an adaptive military posture could, in a drawn-out conflict, inflict significant damage that even the American military would struggle to counter effectively.
But don't you think this perspective might lean a little too far into the realm of what-if scenarios?
That's a fair critique. I mean, there's an element of hyperbole here. He's painting
true.
a very stark picture, which doesn't necessarily consider the full spectrum of US defense capabilities, especially the nuclear and cyber dimensions.
Right, the US does have layers of defense and strategic deterrence. So while his argument is compelling, one might say it hinges on a very specific set of circumstances.
Exactly. It's like examining one piece of the whole puzzle. His narrative focuses on a scenario where traditional military dominance meets guerrilla tactics and rapid missile attacks, a sort of if everything goes wrong case.
Yeah, I see that. And speaking of rapid missile attacks, did he delve into specifics like ballistic missile ranges or anti-access area denial strategies?
Yes, he touches on those details. It's like he suggests that Iran's development of advanced missile technology and its ability to operate in a hybrid fashion would catch US forces off guard.
That kind of asymmetrical advantage can be a game changer. That really is something. He's saying that even with all our high-tech assets, there's a risk of us becoming vulnerable in the gaps between rapid technological responses.
Yes. And he also notes that a prolonged conflict might stretch logistical capabilities to their breaking point. It's like, in any war, sustaining operations is as critical as the initial
it's
offensive.
like trying to run a marathon without a proper water station. It does ring true, especially considering modern warfare is as much about endurance and supply chains as it is about firepower.
Exactly, and that strategic endurance factor is something he emphasizes. He argues that if Iran manages to harness its strengths in those asymmetrical tactics, the cumulative effect could be overwhelming.
But I can't help but feel that this perspective perhaps understates the US ability to adapt and innovate in a crisis.
That's a solid point, and I agree to some extent. It's like the US military has a track record of adjusting to unexpected challenges. However, His warning is more about the initial shock and the psychological impact of such an unconventional strategy on American morale.
That could indeed be a significant factor. Yeah, imagine the scenario where the element of surprise, coupled with aggressive missile strikes, creates a cascading effect of uncertainty.
Precisely. It's kind of like how an unexpected power outage can derail an entire city's rhythm. The disruption in the chain of command and communication can be a recipe for chaos.
And in the fog of war, these uncertainties can escalate conflicts quickly, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly what he's pointing out. It's not just the physical battle that counts. It's the strategic mind games, the rapid shifts in control, and the balance between technology and human decision making.
Yeah, quite the cocktail of challenges. What about the political ramifications he hints at? Like, could domestic pressures in the US exacerbate such a military scenario?
Oh, definitely. He's arguing that internal divisions and political instability could compound the external military threats. The idea is that a divided nation might find it harder to mobilize and focus its collective energy in a prolonged conflict.
That's pretty unsettling, considering how polarizing political landscapes can affect national security.
Indeed, it's like trying to steer a massive ship with a split crew. Even if one part is well prepared, the overall direction can become muddled.
Well said. But then again, aren't there arguments that suggest the US has robust contingency plans, especially with its network of allies and advanced technologies?
Absolutely. And that's the counterpoint many experts raise. There is considerable investment in cyber defenses, advanced surveillance, and rapid response systems. This makes the actual scenario of defeat much more complex than just a tactical surprise.
So, it seems like it's a debate between, on one side, a very specific scenario where unconventional tactics could tip the scales, and on the other, the US's ability to leverage technological and political assets to counter those tactics.
Right on the money. And that's what makes this discussion so compelling. While the analysis paints a dramatic picture, it's essential to balance that with the notion that war, particularly modern warfare, is unpredictable and multidimensional.
Exactly. This definitely leaves us with a lot to consider about the future of international conflict and strategy. It's a tension between cautionary analysis and the reality of dynamic defense strategies.
For sure. And it challenges us to think critically. If nothing else, it's a wake-up call to continuously evaluate our defense assumptions and understand that even the mightiest can have vulnerabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was an intense discussion. It definitely opens up room for more debate on how realistic these scenarios are and how much weight we should give to such analyses.
Indeed, and while it's a controversial take, it forces us to ask the hard questions about power, strategy, and the unforeseeable in warfare.
Very thought-provoking. Thanks for unpacking this complex topic with me today.
Always a pleasure. Until next time, stay curious and open-minded about the narratives shaping our world.